shall.
So hello everybody, good morning, welcome to the Morning Metro. We are of course your hosts, Gertron and Grid21. How are you this morning, Gertron?
I am doing fabulous. It's a great day. It's kind of darkish outside, so I'm expecting it to be raining soon, but other than that, it's going to be a good day.
Awesome. I am also equally well. I have coffee, so in case you couldn't tell, I've got some nice coffee here that I'm excited to be drinking for the rest of the show. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and just jump right into that. Let me just fade out our little intro music here. 30 seconds of intro music, I might add. Man, my computer's is kind of like half lagging, but we're gonna go ahead and just jump into, as usual, the weather, which I can equally talk about. So it looks like actually it's going to be kind of warm this week, especially on the East Coast. We're expecting 76 in Washington, 69 in San Francisco. That's pretty cold, actually. Kansas City is going to see 68, Minneapolis 67, and that's just today's forecast. Tonight it's going to be down in the 60s and 50s for most of the U.S., so that's going to be kind of chilly. And I can actually say right now, looking out my window, that it's definitely raining. It started raining a little bit, I guess around like 1 or 2 o'clock last night, and it's been basically wet and rainy ever since then. I don't know what the weather's like in your where you are, Gertron.
It's going to rain soon.
It's going to rain soon, yeah.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump into our first article of the day and stuff. So, Gertron, would you be so kind as to start that off?
Alrighty. So,
oh wait, did I? Oh, the derp story. Shoot, should I tell that?
Yeah, I kind of wondered where that was.
Oh, okay. All right, let me back up. I'm sorry. My brain wanted to jump. I looked at my laptop, and my brain immediately wanted to jump into the stories. Okay, so we originally were gonna have Ethic Meta, who is a subreddit mod for Twitch, be on the show today. And I had talked to him a little bit earlier in the week about it, but when I realized that we were setting up last night with him, or actually yesterday afternoon with him, and I was like, okay, well, I will see you tomorrow. And he looks at me like, I work tomorrow. And I was like, oh, dang. So Epic Meta is actually going to be joining us next week on the show. Not this morning like I thought he was going to be, but we're looking forward to having somebody from the Twitch community be a part of our show and stuff. And also, good morning, True Cappy. Welcome to the Morning Metro. But yeah, so that's basically what happened. I derped again as usual, so that's kind of not. I derp on my stream so much. It doesn't really matter anymore. So yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and now jump into our stories, which again, Gertron, please take it away.
Okay. And now I will take it away. So this week I decided to take a look a little bit into the American education system. Most of the people here are most likely from America. And if not, well,
then it stinks to be you. No joking.
Okay. Well, I mean, if we want to go with that, I have no problem with people from other countries as long as you're not at war with us.
Yeah, right. So what are we looking at here? What's this chart that we're talking about?
Well, that particular chart is actually the science, math, and reading scores as of 2015. Okay. And it goes basically from a range of 0 to 1,000. Basically. Okay. 0 is, well, your country just has no intelligence at all, and 1,000 is, well, you are all geniuses.
Nice.
So, as we can see from the chart, Singapore seems to make it out as top in all of them. But as I was looking further into it, it looks like, mainly focusing on USA, Japan, and the United Kingdom, we're always behind on everything.
That's honestly true in so many ways. You know, the fact that you know, we're behind technology, we're behind the internet age. Wait a second, my show is you know, we're behind in so many different aspects and stuff that you know, I'm not surprised by these scores and stuff. And honestly, like, I'm I'm meaning, and this is my frustration a little bit with kids and stuff. Like, and I think I was talking about this like 2 weeks ago on the show. About how that like kids are really just getting frustrated with the education system. Mm-hmm. Like by the time they get home, you know, they're basically just done dealing with school because. Yep. You know, it's just too much for them to deal with and handle and everything, and then you just end up with kids that just don't like learning or anything. What is wrong with OBS today? It is like lagging hard for some reason. I just noticed that. Sorry. I was just like, what is wrong with OBS today? But yeah. Anyway, so you know, I'm not surprised that that's what, you know, that's the thing, and that kids are so frustrated with literally everything about educating. So
yeah, and it's crazy. It's how some other countries are kind of striving ahead of us. Mm-hmm. Is for instance in Finland, which give me a moment to pull up that
the video.
In Finland, they actually provide more strenuous teacher training.
Really.
They stand out compared to our schools. They stand out in several ways. They provide daily hot meals, health and dental services, psychological counseling, and a bunch of other services for families and children in need. So, and it's just like, you go to our schools and they don't really care.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I saw True Cappy Man's comment here. If anything, the problem with the education system is that we teach how to test. We need to teach on how to have passion for their choice and their career field and purpose them for life skills, which I totally agree. Yep. And I think we talked about this where, what is it? What I'm trying to think. I think it's England that specifically like helps gear kids toward their future education and stuff. You know, so I'm not really surprised that that's you know, that would be a great way of teaching kids, is gearing them toward a future career and stuff. But they're more concerned about how much money they made, you know, how much money did the school make that for that month, that year, whatever, and keeping their seats warm, much like politicians, than actually teaching the kids. Yeah, you know, how many bodies of children do we get into the schools here? Oh, we got well, you know, we got like 100 or so plus kids, you know, or however many kids. I don't know how many. Yeah. I don't know how many kids. You know, whatever.
Now on to how the training goes for these teachers in Finland. They recruit from the top quarter of the graduating class, demonstrating that such training has prestige lacking in the United States. In 2010, for example, in Finland, there were 6,600 applicants who competed for 660 available primary school preparation slots.
Wow. Interesting.
And most of them aren't going to get in there. They want the best of the best teaching our students, while in the U.S., and that was a recent report by the National Council on Teacher Quality, rating only 10% of more than 1,200 teachers of high quality.
Can you?
And most have low or no academic standards for entries. Basically, if you want to be a teacher, go for it.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and I just realized, and I don't know why I keep continually forgetting to do this. I need to drop these links in the chat for you guys to check these out as we're talking about them, and I'm being absolutely terrible with that. But yeah, no, like I think that's just, you know, it's frustrating that is literally, the education has just come down to literally just numbers.
This like, is so true.
Like, it's disturbing. It's really, really sad that's what it's been reduced to. Here you go, guys. Go ahead and have a look at that. But yeah, that is so frustrating in so many levels. But
yeah, it's crazy now. And then you move on to Canada and how they fund their school system. Now, in America, the school districts rely really heavily on property taxes. So if you have a high value area with nice houses, wealthy people, then the schools are going to get a lot more money because of property taxes. While in Canada, they share everything. The property taxes are split between everybody, and how they pay for the schools is all split between everybody. So in most cases, you're going to go to one school and find high quality and go to another and find high quality again, versus I remember when I lived in Kansas City in kind of a ghetto part of the area, these schools were not that great.
Really?
Then if you were part of a rich family, yeah, you can go to a much, much nicer school. So it's crazy how these other countries are kind of figuring out, hey, these kids are our future. Let's do something about it and actually make something of it versus,
yeah,
we just don't care.
You think? I mean, these are our future generational kids, and they have no respect for education. They have no respect for learning. They don't really. All they care about is what is the next popular show on some network, on some TV. You know, it's on some television network. That is literally what kids have been. Like, yep. I guess reduced to. I want to say reduced to, but it's pretty. It's I don't know. I couldn't even begin to explain like what my frustration is with it. But I just, you know, I want kids to enjoy learning. I was homeschooled growing up. I love, as I've mentioned before, I loved the learning, and I still do. I mean, how many times at night have I been up to like 2 a.m. learning stuff just because my brain just does not want to shut down, and I'm. It's true.
That can be dangerous.
It's quite literally true. But yeah, the problem with that logic is that it is primarily socialist country. Socialist country. Yeah. Now there are some parts of socialism could work, but other than that, it might be a major issue. Oh yeah, socialism in general.
I'm not a socialist. I think there are certain things with socialism that is a good thing. I think you have to take. Certain things are good, certain things are not.
I think I would agree with that. Yeah, but
And then we move over to Shanghai, and how they are fighting elitism. So, for instance, in America, if you're a very, very good teacher,
if you're a very, very good boy,
really credible, they're probably going to stick you in a school that is fairly popular, full of the rich people, the preppy people, while over in Shanghai, they're like, well, you might be really intelligent, a really good teacher, but you know, this other school that has some of the less than fortunate kids, they need you too. So they mix and match. Rather than having elite instructors who are giving a favorite school, they would move into a school that maybe has more of the down and out people, the regular people, the not so rich people.
Definitely.
Which in America, well, you're just kind of, if it's all based off where you live and what your family is. If your family's well known and rich, then you can get into a good school. Yeah. If you're not well known and rich, well, good luck on getting a great education.
Right. So, all right, cool, interesting. Let's see. Let me actually read Titan's comma here. It's because the kids who need better education have behavior issues that the best teachers don't want to deal with. That is also true.
Exactly.
That is true. There are, because, you know, and I've mentioned before, and I'll mention again, I am dyslexic. I have adult dyslexia. My attention span's pretty short. Trying to be homeschooled was a challenge for my mom. And there are other kids who have even more extreme learning conditions than I do, and the teachers have to. If their patience is not there, then they're not willing to deal with a lot of that. So I agree with that statement, definitely. So I
personally think those who have struggle with issues and need more support, they should be getting them more support. Because otherwise, I mean, it's a domino effect. And you get more quote unquote troubled people in America versus giving them a chance to actually grow.
Definitely, yeah. I can see some of the comments here are definitely very interesting. My wife teaches first grade in the inner city, and she hates dealing with students' behavior. Yeah, a lot of these kids they're taking what they have for granted, and we're not taught to just appreciate stuff. So,
And what's interesting in personal experience here in the U.S. several years ago, well, you can bring out the Board of Education. You were able to, I mean, if you disrespect the teacher, they take you down to the principal's office. Next thing you know, you got a Board of Education being swatted across you.
Yeah, right.
And in some countries, that still happens. And if you look
kids
at
are getting off too easy with things too.
Doing much better because the teachers are in there taking control of the situation.
Yeah. Kids are getting off too often with like good behavior or lack of good behavior. I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just frustrating to like see and know that that's something even in my own country, when America is supposed to be the most blessed country in the world. Well, next to Israel.
Well, we have some of the dumbest people in the world here.
That's true, and they're actually finding that there are people who are doing less reading. Like they're like when kids get out of school, they're not doing any reading at all.
Okay, and I've got to point something out here. Cappy Man just pointed out participation award. Holy cow, that is so true. There is no true competition anymore. Everybody gets awards.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
Which is a whole nother discussion entirely. But yes, I understand. I know where that could go, honestly, but we got to keep the show moving here.
Okay. Well, then I will push it back over to you, Grid. But ultimately, if America doesn't straighten itself up, we are going to be just
fried.
Dumb.
Yeah. Which actually means everybody loses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No. We'll get a participation award. Thank you for participating in life.
Do I get a participation award for doing the show?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and move on here. This is really cool. This is a cool piece of technology that I don't know if it's really gonna, like, how far the development of it's gonna go, but I think this is really I got an award for you. Thank you, Titan. So Microsoft and the I think it's the what is it here? I marked it in my notes. Oh, come on. I did read this story. Don't worry. I really did. So it's the Microsoft Cambridge Innovation and the BBC project invents a new device. So basically, the story about this was they had developed a they call Emma, which is a device that's used for people who have Parkinson's disease. And Parkinson's disease is the is the thing where people have uncontrollable shakes in their hands and stuff, and they can't, like, my grandpa, who passed away many years ago, actually suffered from Parkinson's disease, and they between these two between Microsoft and BBC project, they actually invented this device that basically the wearer uses, and it sends another shake motion into that person's hand that actually counters the shaking motion of the person who has Parkinson's disease. Huh. It's very cool. I'm going to read some of the quote here. Fox News report is saying the Emma intentionally shakes the user's arm, interrupting the feedback loop that impedes normal movement while wearing the device. Launton was able to draw straight lines and even write legibly since the BCC program was filmed. She's apparently been wearing the Emma on a daily basis. However, it seems for the time being there are no plans for future development, but at least that technology is there. So they have the technology to help people who have Parkinson's disease, but it sounds like that they're not wanting to, or they're not necessarily wanting to, but the development of a future medical device may not be in development for a while at least. But I think it's kind of cool that they're another innovation for technology and stuff. To back it up a bit here, I'm trying to find out who this was made for, a specific lady, and I don't remember I'm trying to find exactly where it was. I'm drawing a blank. I read this like a couple weeks ago, but basically it's just this really it's a very innovative thing. I can see this being very, very helpful where technology is actually working for somebody and helping them deal with, you know, not just Parkinson's disease, but other types of stuff. So very, very cool, definitely. I'm just reading the chat comments. It's so great. But
yeah. I got your trophy for you. It looks like Titan had a picture of a pile of dog poo for your trophy, so I went ahead and I shared it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's right here. I mean, there you go. There you go again.
Okay, real mature, guys, real mature. But yeah, I mean, Gertrude, any thoughts on this particular article while we're sitting here on it?
I think that is a really cool idea, but the only problem is money. See, what happens when the device comes out and it works? Let's say, for instance, it works great, and all of a sudden, medications for Parkinson's, people stop taking that, and these medication companies, these manufacturers, are like, well, now we're out of money. Now, I'm not agreeing with it. I think it's horrible. I think that's one of the reasons why they're not pushing for getting the device completely out there. But I've met people with Parkinson's that would love to be able to use something like that.
Definitely, yeah. And you know, this is where I see like technology being like a really I do love technology. I love when it's used for good things. I love when it helps people and stuff like this. And I would love to see this be a full grade production for someone who deals with it, because it's you know I know technology has its good points, bad points, but I think it'd be so cool if this became an actual thing. But yes, again, money. I mean, yes, I understand. Okay, I get it. Money makes things work and allows people to buy things, but I feel like there's a certain point where we almost use money as an excuse to not invent something or not move something forward. And this is an example of this. Yeah. It's you know, the concept of necessary evil, I think is just an excuse for, yeah, we don't really feel like putting that much money into it.
There was a guy, I can't remember his name, but back in the late 1900s, I'm thinking it was probably in the 1980s or something, he actually created a fully working engine that could use salt water or any form of water. And it worked just fine. But you know what? The companies out there that were like, we don't want that because then we're going to lose all the money we get off of people using our engines and our gas. So they bought his company and then shut it down. The whole idea.
Man.
I think money holds us back.
It does. I mean, and like there are so many good technologies. Like I think I was talking to my mom about this. She's like, the patent office is probably like filled with tons upon tons of ideas, and like even I've invented a couple like I've had a few concept ideas growing up and stuff, and I was like, you know, I should get that patent, and I never made a concept idea because first of all, never had the materials to do it, and I'm really bad at drawing. Honestly, I would like to get better at drawing. I've done a couple drawing streams and I just didn't turn out too well.
You draw better than me.
But yeah, you know, I mean, you know, between money and things like the patent office and stuff that's, you know, that is being developed or does make it toward, you know, toward actual full production, whatever. What if the salt ran out? I don't know.
We got an entire ocean out there.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. But yeah, it's just it's so frustrating how many things are just there are some smart people out there who do smart things, and it is frustrating to know that that you know these ideas are laying waste to just pieces of paper that will never be in production, or if they do, it'll be years later, and probably the person will be very old or dead. Like, not to sound negative, but I mean, that's usually what could end up happening, you know? So, I don't know. That's just something cool that I found. I think it's a great idea. I would love to see it come into full grade production, but who knows? I mean, if it gets popular enough, an idea, maybe it will come to, you know, come to be a full thing. Otherwise, it was cool while it lasted.
Exactly.
So,
somebody will come out with it officially.
Yeah,
maybe
definitely.
it won't be the people who originally came up with it, but you know,
may not be as good, but it'll be there.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, cool. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to some entertainment talk. So Gertrude, would you go ahead and take this story? And for those of you that are Marvel fans, you will love this, I'm sure. So yeah, go ahead and talk about this.
All right. So first off, last Friday, went to see Guardians of the Galaxy, the Volume 2, which was awesome. However, the trailer for Thor Ragnarok was just that made my day on that one as well. So we're going to show a quick clip of my favorite part of the entire preview of Thor Ragnarok, if Grid would take that away.
Yep, I'm actually playing it right now. Yeah, this looks so freaking cool. This part especially is really funny.
Oh, boy.
I know that guy.
We know each other. Friends for work. Oh, come on.
That's pretty cool. I love the song, but that is pretty cool. So let's have some thoughts about this, since you're a big like Marvel fan person.
Yes, I am a Marvel fan person. I've seen everything Marvel, including the old stuff. And this one, I've actually watched the animated version of this, where it was Thor versus Hulk. That was awesome, and this looks awesome. I cannot wait for it to come out. I'm really, really looking forward to that. I'm not entirely sure for Ragnarok release date. See when that's actually coming out. They're looking like that's going to come out November 3rd, 2017, barring anything crazy happening. So I can't wait to see that one.
Nice, nice.
But then, of course, we did officially get into the movie, of course, on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which was hilarious right off the bat.
Nice. I haven't seen. I've heard of Guardians of the Galaxy. I haven't seen it, honestly. Just again, not the type of genre film, I guess, that my family's interested in seeing. But I mean, I've seen trailers for it. It looks cool. You know, that's all I gotta say for that. But nice,
You've gotta
very cool.
watch the first one before the second one.
That's like saying you have to watch Ruby Volume 1 before you can watch like Volumes 2, 3, and 4, and eventually 5 in October. Yay. Sorry, go ahead. It's a good show.
Well, I will say the way the movie Guardians of the Galaxy started out with, it was already hilarious. I love Groot. He is
Groot.
Awesome. I'm just saying, if you are a fan of Marvel at all and you have not seen the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 or Volume 1 for that matter, because you got to watch Volume 1 first, you need to get your butt out there and watch it.
Cool. Awesome.
Just 'cause.
Very cool.
It's good. Oh, and during this, wink wink over to Grid, we officially found out that Stan Lee is actually a Marvel character.
Oh, cool.
No more spoilers than that. You'll have to watch to see.
Very interesting. Cool. Yeah, I don't know if I was supposed to insert this at the bottom of the show, but yeah, I had to look up an IMDb page for our Stanley because Gertrude would not let me. Let me respectfully leave the subject alone.
Nope.
We'll touch on that at the end of the show, actually, but we're not going to do it right now because we have more. This is more of a software entertainment news section. Okay, so let me explain something here. There's a open source software called Kodi. Used to be called XBMC. The equivalent to that is OSMC for Raspberry Pi. Now, I use OSMC on Raspberry Pi. In fact, I was actually using it to watch the final Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. They were actually streaming to YouTube, and I was able to watch the entire circus performance on my television with my parents last night in our living room. It was super cool. But I had to reduce the quality down to 480p because it kept lagging on 720. It was ridiculous. But anyway, beside the point. But in the UK, however, they are restricting the Kodi box or the Kodi software because you could face up to 10 years in jail time if you do. The reason now, okay, I have my personal view of why I think this is, but the website is contrary to my personal view. So the European Court of Justice, and I'm going to actually reading off my notes again as usual. The European Court of Justice has made a ruling that using the popular desktop Raspberry Pi OS, also called OSMC, and any other form of it could be sentenced for up to 10 years in jail if caught streaming copyrighted content. Express.co.uk quoted Kyron Sharp, quote, as saying, consumers need to be aware that devices that allow you to access to premium pay for TV channels without a legitimate subscription or access to the films that are not yet available to rent or buy are illegal. Whilst end users are not a target, they could get swept up in one of our operations and become part of the whole criminal investigation, which could lead to prosecution alongside the suppliers, retailers, and importers. So if you have, they want to restrict the internet too. That's now, okay, now that is my personal, I'm going to start my personal view here. I think, and this is, again, personal opinion, so don't anybody freak out if this gets on YouTube and somebody hears this. This is just my personal opinion, that they're doing it to restrict freedom of speech, honestly. I mean, it's an open source. Kodi has been around literally for super long time. Let me drop the full article in the chat here for you guys to take a look at. But, I mean, it's just a desktop application. I mean, it has YouTube, it has Twitch, it's got, I think it's, you know, how it looks like there's, you know, there's Amazon apps in here. It looks like, I haven't taken time to look at all the applications that are in Kodi, but there's quite a few of them that are in here, and I think this is kind of ridiculous, honestly, that you know, 10 years. Really? That's just a bit much, in my opinion. Gertron, you sound like you want to insert something here.
Yeah, a little bit, because I'm actually both living with somebody and dating somebody who actually uses Kodi on a regular basis to do some of the said things here.
Yeah. I mean, like...
So, that's kind of funny.
And I think, and one of my gripes with some of this stuff is that copyright laws, especially in the US, but copyright laws as a whole, have not caught up to the digital age. No, definitely. And because of that, you know, it's causing problems for open source software such as Kodi. Now, my personal use of Kodi is I use it for AirPlay because it has AirPlay built in, so I use it alongside with iTunes, and my iPhone 4 for streaming Pandora, because I have a free Pandora account. I stream it to Kodi. I also stream it to my Apple AirPlay in my kitchen, actually, which is a cool setup. But I use it for that, and I also use it for YouTube occasionally. Like, I watch like LTT, NCIX, all of them on the YouTube, and that's readily available for public consumption. So it's not like I'm using it for illegal, you know, content and stuff. And honestly, I would rather just pay for things on it. I know it's more expensive, but I'd rather just pay for things just so I don't end up in trouble than not pay for things. You know, if I don't end up seeing something because I didn't pay for it, well, then that's just my loss and whatever. But, you know, I think this is just now a problem that, like, you're just now freaking out that Kodi is, where have you been, kind of a thing.
I know.
You know, and pirated content, I'm not saying it's good. Don't do pirated content, please. You will get into trouble. There are whole organizations of people that have gotten into trouble. Don't do torrents because you can get viruses and malware, which actually we're going to talk about a malware later in the show a bit here. Nice segue. And, you know, Yeah, I mean, just be a legal person. It's not that hard to spend a couple bucks or a couple dollars for some content that you want to watch. You know, if you got a Netflix subscription, cool, you paid for it. But, you know, wanna cry? Nice Cappy. Yeah, nice Cappy. Had to be there for a sec. But, yeah, I think this is a bit overly harsh. That this is a, you know, that this is now like a problem, and they're just now doing something about it. Yeah. And, you know, they even says here in the article that streaming some content was previously a legal gray area. What is gray about it? Like, what's your problem here that you can't figure out, that you can't, what am I missing here?
I have no idea what you're missing there, but, laws are changing, but they will constantly be under attack regardless. There will always be sites that will stream TV shows and movies at no charge. Yes, they're pirating it, but again, there's that legal loophole.
Now, okay, now here's the thing. I think I know for a fact that one of the legal loopholes that there is that if you're not reselling the content, there is a bit of a hole. I don't know what the exact quotation is. It'll take me a bit to look up on my computer because I actually have it saved. But you can watch that kind of content if you don't resell it, or if you post it, you can claim that you're doing it for educational purposes and you're not using it to make any profit or whatever. There's that one. There's, at least in America, there's that one loophole. I know it does exist because I've actually had to use it on YouTube occasionally. Back when I was not with a YouTube network and not making money off of YouTube, I would use that particular copyright loophole, and most of the time it worked, and I got off the hook with it. Now that the fair use laws. Thank you, Cappy. But now that I do make money off of YouTube through, I'm going to admit it, through advertising, it's not, mind you, not a lot, but I do, I can't claim that anymore. And so now I have to be careful about what I post online because I could get a strike. Now my channel's in good standing, which is, thank you God, is amazing. But, you know, copyright laws, just, they need to catch up, and they're not. And people are getting into trouble and all this kind of stuff.
There's another big loophole here as well.
Go for it.
For instance, it depends on what country it's being streamed from.
That's true.
So you may be in the U.S. and you may be watching something on a website, but if their servers are located in a certain area, I know there's this one particular website that they do a lot of pirating stuff. However, since their servers are located, I believe, in Germany, anybody from the U.S. can mess with them, but they can't be sued at all because, well, the copyright laws don't apply there.
Yeah, and I'm going to read Cappy's chat message here. The problem is that streaming services can be from anywhere. Some places take content from the Pirate Bay, etc. However, there are some that do it legitimately. It's great, a NAS streamer. But yeah, you know, that's you know, it's frustrating. I can't even fathom that. 10 years of your life in jail because you streamed content from Kodi. That's just... What? Like...
However, the chances of somebody actually getting in trouble is unlikely.
And that's my other question, too. How are they going to know that...
It's the IP address.
Oh.
I mean, you know, you can take your IP address and they can connect it to your computer. They can narrow it down. They can figure it out, but the question is, do they really want to take that kind of time to mess with that?
Honestly, I don't think it shouldn't be the end user that gets it. There should be the website that streamed it that should get the punishment, not the end user that's streaming it.
Yeah.
Because we're not the ones that, you know, are downloading, you know, it illegally, and apparently from one of the something about the fact that because sometimes content is temporarily downloaded and deleted after it's done being streamed.
That's streaming. Yeah.
Then, you know, I guess that was one of the gray areas that they were dealing with and stuff. But honestly, it should be either either the developer or the website that is streaming it non-legally to the Kodi operating system and or desktop app. So, you know, I think that's just a bit ridiculous and extreme. So, but that's just me. So if I live outside the US, I'm really, really sorry. Please be legal, okay? I care about my viewers, so try to be as legal as you possibly can. I can't tell you how many times people have purchased Amazon Fire Stick just to get Kodi on it. Huh. Interesting. I'm gonna have to investigate Amazon Fire Sticks. I've heard about it, but I really don't know a lot about it, honestly. So,
there are ways around everything.
There are. Well, speaking of ways around everything, Microsoft had to scramble to issue a recent patch. Gertron, please take it away.
Okay, so there was a malware hack that came out. From what I understand, it was ransomware.
As usual.
What ransomware basically is, as soon as it installs itself on your computer, it's like, hey, either you pay us this amount of money, or we're going to delete everything on your computer. And sometimes if you pay them, they'll give your stuff back, and sometimes they'll be like, nope, thank you for the money, but nope, you're not going to get anything. But supposedly this this piece of malware that got out there was so bad, and me and my other boss, we work on fixing computers as well, told me that it was so bad that they actually sent out updates from Windows XP all the way up to Windows 10. They pushed out this update to all of them because it was like horrible.
Yeah.
And as some people know, Windows XP is no longer being supported by Microsoft, but if it's
still
bad enough that they're going to push out that update to them, it's pretty bad.
I was actually reading it. Now, this isn't in our article. I really wish I had actually dropped this in because it would have been perfect connection here. There are still systems out there that run Windows XP because the software developer did not keep up with the development of the changing OSs. So there are literally like billions of computers out there worldwide still running the beloved Windows XP and stuff. Now there actually is a video, and I'm gonna go ahead and drop. You guys can go ahead and watch this at a later time, because I don't want to steal away from this guy's content here. But there is a video of a guy who explained exactly what this did. So now what made this virus extra devastating was that it would actually lock your computer and your files, and it would also scan your local network and then jump from computer to computer to computer locally. And so they would actually, that's why the targeted NHS got so hit so severely, because the malware was an IP scanning malware that would check out the network. And of course, Gertrude, as you remember, I think it was somebody from Google figured out the unregistered domain, and it broke the malware. But there's still revisions of it out there, actually, from what I've understood.
Well, yeah, I mean, all this malware is still out there. People still mess with the codes on it, but it's crazy. I mean, people who make malware and viruses are making billions of dollars a year just from that alone.
I see a Cappy's comment here. It's not a hack. It is a worm. Basically, it was a ransom worm only affecting Windows XP to 7 via Samba version 2. Windows 8 to 10 were not affected. Oh, it was the older legacy systems. Okay. Well, that's kind of good, honestly.
I'm still sticking with Windows 7 though.
I'm a Windows 10 user on both these computers I'm using today and stuff. But the thing is that now I prefer IMAP for mail. I don't like POP3. I don't like the idea of my mail being downloaded locally to my computer, because that is how you get infected, is through things like POP3. IMAP is always in the server and stays in the cloud, which is where mail, I think, should be, honestly, just for security and just for convenience. But, you know, it was kind of funny. I was transitioning my mom over to Gmail, and we kind of did it at a perfect time. Because, you know, of course, this thing gets launched and, you know, oh my gosh, everybody's getting infected, kind of a thing. And I was like, just missed a shell here perfectly and stuff. But I feel really bad for anybody that actually got hit with this. That is just absolutely terrible. And on top of that, I learned later in the week that part of this, so it's kind of a weird, I'd have to go back and look at the article. But there's actually this bit where I guess the NSA or something was not telling Microsoft about the vulnerabilities that's in Windows OS. And so Microsoft came down actually on the NSA and said, hey, you need to tell us when there's vulnerabilities on our OS, because that doesn't help us any. And somehow, I think like part of this virus was developed by our own people, and then somehow the code, I guess, got stolen by the Lazarus Group, which is like a North Korean organization or something like that. I don't know. I'm not going to say this is fact or you know, fact or fiction here, because again, it's very, very, very confusing, honestly. But if you are if you're affected by this or were affected by this, I am so sorry. You have my deepest sympathies. If you aren't, good for you for dodging a bullet. You know.
One major bullet, by the way.
Yeah, no, Lazarus isn't from North Korea. Really? Okay. Well, anyway, beside the point, it was pretty devastating. So, interesting. Also, it is dead. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our second to last. Well, actually, it is our last article. It's apart from the Stan Lee thing. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to this. So now I have a Facebook page. I hate Facebook. I think it is it has gotten to be the most terrible social media network ever. I was not impressed when Facebook's like, we got Facebook Live. Ever heard of Twitch? Duh. So Facebook, Facebook wants to embrace the esports generation, and they want to eventually, so I'm gonna go ahead and just read the article because I didn't make any notes about this because Gertrude said it was short enough to read on stream here. So this is from foxnews.com under their tech section. Facebook Inc. is paying professional video game teams and others in the esports industry to post videos on social network, part of a shift and a strategy to deliver more polished programming to the company's nearly 2 billion monthly users. Earlier this Twitch is a lot better, dude. Earlier this year, Facebook signed contracts with 5 teams to publish live and on-demand video of players practicing or competing in esports. In addition, Facebook on Thursday is expected to announce a deal with the ESL, a global organizer of esports contests, to broadcast matches, player interviews, and more. Under the deal's esports partners must produce a minimum of 2 hours of video for the social network, and in most cases, the partners are allowed to simultaneously publish to rival platforms such as Amazon's.com's Twitch. Financial terms weren't disclosed. Well, yeah, obviously they're not going to be disclosed. Facebook's interest in beefing up TV-like programming from science, lifestyle, and other genres comes as many publishers are seeing a lackluster viewership for the live videos on the platform. Facebook is also grappling on how to censor violent moments and other dark content streamed to the live site. Okay, that's totally really weird, and I did not know that was in there.
Are you kidding me? I mean, Twitch doesn't even care. I mean, when you sign up for Twitch or you're live streaming, if you know there's going to be mature content in there, you activate the mature content. So before people even get in there, they know there might be mature content in there.
And I think Facebook needs to understand that that is the ESL and other stuff like that. There are streamers that swear.
Exactly.
And have violent video games. I mean, GTA, CSGO, a bunch of other games
making it real.
are going to be streamed. Well, GTA is not ESL, but still CS:GO. There's a couple other ones out there. Facebook, go away! I'm tired of you.
Quit trying to take everything over like Google.
I'm just so frustrated with the platform now. I'm almost like literally the only reason why I keep my Facebook page but I don't use it is just to keep some tabs on some people that I know. Okay, just to see what they're up to. Other than that, my platforms: YouTube, Twitch, TeamSpeak, Discord, and Twitter. That is where I hang out. I actually forget that Facebook exists. Okay, I actually forget that Facebook is a thing. And in my opinion, Facebook, you were late to the game, bud. Okay, Twitch has had it for years and is as far as I know, has like what, some 2 or 3 billion broadcasters per month or more.
They're not going to want to switch over to Facebook.
No, they're not. Oh no! Oh heck no! Like I passionately love Twitch. Like it's just I've seen Hitbox, I've seen Beam.pro, I've seen YouTube streaming. To me, not as good as Twitch. Now Twitch does have its problems. I admit every platform does, but Facebook cannot compete with Twitch's streaming services and the amount of the chat interaction, the features, they've got now the affiliate program, they've got the partnership program, they've got the community, there's a Twitch Reddit, they've got literally every game under the sun on this platform. Facebook needs to stop right now. This is where it ends, and I am just I'm raging inside as a streamer right now, as a Twitch streamer. I'm like, I wish I was wearing my Twitch shirt, honestly. It's in the wash. I have to go wash it this week. I will be wearing it later in the week, though. But I just... rage. Gertron, opinions.
I'm getting kind of sick and tired of how all these websites are trying to cover everything. And they want... be able to do
everyone wants a piece of the pie.
Your one-all website. I'm sorry, those that actually try to do that usually don't do it very well.
That's true. That's true.
Because you're spreading yourself so thin.
Yep. But here's the thing, though. The problem is that Facebook, like, I don't even know what their company's worth in stock, but like, I mean, I know they've got to have, I mean, Mark Zuckerberg is greedy. He just loves his money. But I hate to tell you, trees run out, bud. And so does paper to make the money. But I mean, I don't want to get like overly like feisty here, but I'm really, Facebook needs to just stop right now, because Facebook Live, I actually have seen examples of it. It is garbage. Like the whole comments, had the stream of comments and stuff, garbage in my opinion. The fact you can add reactions. Twitch emotes are so much better. I mean, come on, PugChamp, Kappa. I mean, Bible Thump, best emotes ever. Like seriously, I love PugChamp. That was my favorite emo. But
boy.
Stock value of Facebook is 184.11.
148.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my dyslexic brain kicked in. I'm sorry. Google is your best friend.
Google is indeed.
But yeah, I mean, it's so. I don't know. Like, just please stop. Just I
know.
I mean, I don't mind that Amazon like owns Twitch. I mean, I think that was it's actually been kind of good for the platform, because it has allowed it to grow. And we probably wouldn't have the affiliate program if we didn't have Amazon to thank for owning a part of Twitch. But Facebook is not going to be the next Justin.tv. Okay, like remember, like anybody remember that Justin.tv, and then the child company was Twitch.tv, and then of course the history was Justin TV got discontinued, and then Twitch became the full on parent company, and then Amazon bought and all kind of stuff and everything. So I mean, they've got the backing of Amazon, which is like the largest online retailer in the world, I think, next to what, Alibaba, I think is the next one.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I don't think that Facebook can really compete at all. So yeah, that's my Twitch streamer rage. I just okay, I better stop before I like blow a gasket here.
I can see your veins popping.
I'm just Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just switch over to this. Okay. For the Marvel fans, dun da da da. Yes, I looked up Stan Lee on IMDb because that was easiest to do. I'm sorry, I gotta preface this a bit. Last week, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, we found out that Grid had no idea who Stan Lee was.
Because, okay, for the last time, I will say because I don't have time to research that stuff. I'm sorry, I'm working on other things. So, for the sake of just satisfying you Marvel nutheads, no joking. So apparently one of the things he's known for is wearing trademark sunglasses. As you can tell, he wears like these dark sunglasses. He was born on December 28th, 1922 in New York City, New York, USA. Let's see, he had some trademark lines. Wears a signature dark sunglasses. Often has camo in the films based on his comics.
Cameo.
Cameo. Again, dyslexic brain kicking in again. Sorry. I can read. I really can. It's just my brain doesn't always process all the vowels and letters of stuff. It's just part of it. Characters are often ordinary individuals caught up in extraordinary circumstances. Well, I mean, that's kind of like every movie ever, right?
Yeah.
He's a guy in Deadpool 2 trailer. Okay. Let's see. What's some other stuff? I'm literally I'm reading this blind, literally, actually. I did not study any of this before the show.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know, right? Can it Stan Lee? Better question, can it run Crisis? Can Stan Lee run Crisis? Oh! Dislike the 1970s live-action Spider-Man television series for which his script consultant deeming it too juvenile. He also felt that Spider-Man was being treated on the show as a cardboard character. I'll actually agree with that, because I actually I saw Spider-Man 1. I think I saw Spider-Man. Was there Spider-Man 2? There was a Spider-Man 2, right?
There's been several Spider-Man movies.
Okay, the one that had he played. Oh, what was his name? I can see his face. I don't remember what his name was. He obviously would play. He played Peter Parker, but I can't remember what the actor was for that. It was like the 2014 or 2013 Spider-Man movie a couple years ago. I'm drawing a blank on it. But I will say I've never been a fan of Spider-Man. Honestly, like I've not been I've not been really impressed with the Spider-Man franchise and stuff. Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire, yes. Or Andrew Garfield. I think it's with Tobey Maguire, actually. I liked the first one, but by the time you got to the second one, it was like watching the season 2 of Video Game High School, which was not that great. So by comparison, I wasn't really impressed with it and stuff. All you need is Batman, and you're pretty much good. So, yeah, worst Spider-Man ever. Okay, so I'm not alone in that. But yeah, I can see where Stan Lee probably felt that way about the Spider-Man film, definitely. So, yeah, there's some other stuff for you guys who actually. Yeah. I'm just going ahead and just drop this in chat anyway, just in case there are some Stan Lee noobs like myself. You can read that at a later time. So there you go. There's some.
FYI.
Yes.
He first began to work on Marvel characters and comics back in 1941.
Wow,
he's been, and that was with Captain America.
That's around what, World War II? World War One? Was it World War One or World War II? I can't remember. Because it was in the 40s.
World War II.
Thank you. Okay, I was close. I was first thinking World War II. Actually, I know this because I'm a gamer and I play World of Tanks. Boom, nailed it. So, okay. Anyway, so there you go. There's some. Did you know that Marvel did a collab with DC? No, I did not know that, but now I do.
No, we did.
Okay, there you go. There's
okay. To the people who are currently watching the stream, do we let Grid off the hook now when it comes to Stan Lee, or do we still get at him?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. You know, there's about like a few second delay. You didn't know when World War II was. I did. The only reason why I partially know where it was is because I don't know why. It's so funny. There was this video that Wargaming had made. And they made a special map called Kharkov. Yeah, it's a really cool map, by the way. But they made a special video, and they're talking about the map was based in like 1948, I think. I'm a little bit rusty on that video. I have to go back and look at it. But I'm not letting him off the hook. Wow, Cappy. Cappy, we're gonna have a talk later. Anyway, so. I partially knew a little bit of history and stuff, so there you go. And I'm sure my mom will watch this and she'll be like, "What's wrong with you? I thought we studied world history." I'll be like, "I know, it's just a little bit dry." So,
well, it was kind of dry back then.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. All right. So that brings us to the end of our articles. But Gertrude, any funny personal stories from this week at all, or because I do have one if I didn't already tell one already, but I do have one.
Well. So, my girlfriend and I, we work at a computer store / repair shop, working on phones and computers, and it's one of the reasons I love her.
Aww.
But my girlfriend decided to comment on something that I was like, really? So we had a customer come in and they bought a computer from us. But they wanted us to upgrade it to Windows 10. But it was... I knew Windows 10 was not going to work well on it. Because it was originally designed for Windows Vista, and it did not have the power to handle Windows 10. But they insisted. And the entire time I'm saying, well, they're going to come back. They're going to come back. And they did come back Saturday. And they were like, yeah, we can't use this computer. It lags much. And I'm like, figured. And my girlfriend decided to say, well, why don't we just switch out the hard drives? I'm just like, that's not how it works.
I actually would agree with her, honestly. But yeah, go ahead.
The processor was 1 core and only 2 gigs of RAM trying to run Windows 10. And she thought that we could upgrade the computer by just changing the hard drive.
Okay.
That doesn't work like that.
Okay.
You still got a really, really, really slow computer there. It was a laugh between me and Paul, and at Brittany's expense.
Okay. Well, I mean, what ended up happening then?
We refunded their money, and they went to Best Buy and bought a better computer, even though we could have built them a much nicer computer at less than what they paid for the computer at Best Buy.
Now, I will say, actually, the only reason why I would agree with your girlfriend in this case is because I was watching a video from Linus Tech where they took a really old Core 2 Duo and stuck an SSD in it, and actually were able to make it run faster. And actually, if you're not, where I used to work, we would use Crystal Disk a lot to test hard drives before sticking them in laptops. And literally 10 out of 10, like maybe like 9 out of 10 times, I would install OSs on a new computer, and we would have an issue before we started using Crystal Disk with the installation failing of Windows. And when we started using Crystal Disk more often, I had less issues with failure of installations. So maybe next time you go to install a computer, use Crystal Disk and see what the hard drive state's like, because chances are there's a bad sector somewhere.
No, I use Crystal Disk all the time. So, I have the portable version of it, so that's like how we check hard drives on a regular basis.
Yeah. So, all right, cool.
And yes, it is true, Captain Man. SSDs do run a lot faster. I have my computer's built with an SSD. It takes it like 10 seconds to completely be ready to go.
Yeah, the white Yeti is like rocking all mechanical hard drives, and I was telling my mom that if I were ever to build a new computer, the things I would change would be the OS storage, making it like a 500 or 1 terabyte SSD. And yes, because what I'm actually noticing is that 500 gigs SSD, by the time you install, because I have a lot of editing programs and they take up a lot of space, so I need that 1 terabyte storage. You know,
but see, I kind of couple it with I only have 250 gig SSD that holds my operating system and my main programs, but I also have a 1 terabyte Western Digital Blue hard drive to run anything that I don't necessarily need it to be.
Oh, speaking of WD, they came out with a 10 terabyte Red Edition, which is a server grade. I'm really excited about it because
probably expensive as all get out.
Well, they have the 10 terabyte Gold and the 10 terabyte Red, which is like, I guess, you know, different. They're used for different things and stuff. But I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, interesting. So if you're done,
go for it.
Okay. So my personal story is you know, as I've mentioned before, I'm the lead engineer at our church for one of our studios that we live stream our church service from. So the tech guy and I, we were supposed to run a BNC cable from one office space to another office space. Well, the funny part was we ended up, the media guy comes back and he's like, "Is this all the slack that there is?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You need more." And I'm like, but you didn't tell us. And so now we have to go back and rerun our runs. So what we're actually going to do is, to save ourselves time, we're actually going to tie the new cable and the old cable together and use the old cable like a pull string and just pull through the new cable just to make it easier. So
that'll definitely help.
I mean, it was fun pulling cable. I liked it. He didn't, but I enjoyed it. But yeah, we did all that work just to find there wasn't enough cable. So yeah. So, but yeah, that brings us to the end of our show. You know, I managed to make it under an hour. Thank you, Lord, which is incredible. But thank you guys so much for watching, hanging out. Your chat comments are always appreciated and stuff. I guess at some point we need to start making, I guess, like a public Google Doc for the people to review the documents all over again. I guess when it goes to YouTube, since I'm posting to YouTube now. We might do that for our next episode. We'll see. But yeah, next week we will have Ethic Meta as a guest on the show. So we're looking forward to that. He's definitely stoked about it. So, and of course, you know, I'll be live, you know, this week, Tuesday through Friday, 7:30 EST for my normal streams and stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great Monday. Gertron, it was great seeing you.
Great seeing you again too.
So
you guys have a great day, and as I always say, don't work too hard. Well, I tell everybody else that. I don't think I've told you guys that yet, but don't work too hard. Have fun.
Sounds like good advice. So until then, we'll catch you guys later.
Later.